When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world. Every single one of us and every single person that I know wants to be successful in this life. We have a desire. It kind of fulfills this purpose that we all feel deep down that we need to fulfill, that we need to be successful in at least one aspect of our lives. Many of us want to be successful in our careers. That's why we're all going to college. That's why we want to go to school, is to advance in our careers. We also, there are people that I know that want to be successful with their physical bodies, to achieve these wonderful and amazing things that the human body is capable of through hard work and dedication. We want to be successful in our families, have wonderful relationships with the people we care about and the people we love. But very few of us are willing to actually put in the work and the discipline that it takes in order to actually be successful. Throughout my studies and throughout my years, I have learned and kind of analyzed the three things that people who are successful all tend to have in common. Whatever your just definition of success is, whether it's people who are rich, people who are loved, people who love others, leaders, all other things people that we look up to, they typically have these three aspects in their lives. The first one is that they always have confidence. There usually is this sheer amount of confidence that they carry within themselves and the way they carry themselves because of the way that they view themselves. You can't be confident if you don't view yourself and love yourself. Some of the most confident people that I've ever looked at in my life are some athletes. I'm a big sports guy. I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had this insane amount of swagger and confidence whenever he played. His teammates would comment, his opponents would comment about it. Just the amount of sheer confidence that he had in himself and in his abilities, because he knew that he had worked harder than every other person that he was on the basketball court with. Usain Bolt is another great example of this. Whenever he crosses the finish line, you sometimes see him doing a pose or something before he even crosses the finish line, because he knows that he's going to win. He's put in the work. He's put in the hours. And so confidence is something that we all need. I feel is the most important part of being successful, is being confident in yourself. The way that you increase your confidence is that you increase your view of yourself. You increase your self-worth in your eyes, not the eyes of the world, but the eyes of yourself. You need to be able to look in yourself in the mirror and like what you see and not care what the world thinks about you. The second thing is failure. That successful people fail and they learn from failure. Speaking of Michael Jordan, again, he said that the key to success is failure. There's a quote by him where he talks about that he's missed over 9,000 shots throughout his life. He's lost over 300 games. 26 times in his life he was trusted with the game-winning shot and he missed. And he said, because of all those things is the reason why I succeed. It's not whether you fail, it's how you view it. You're going to fail. We're all going to fail. That does not mean that you are a failure. We need to look at failure as something that shows that we're trying. People who fail are the people who succeed. I remember this one time, me and my wife were on a date, and I remember looking up and I saw a TV, and it was showing people failing in kind of these funny ways. But there were a lot of things that I was watching and I was like, I know no one else that in my personal life that attempts that. I know no one that attempts to do a double backflip while going down a ski slope or something. Just these crazy things that these people do and try to attempt, and they fail. But eventually, through persistence, they'll eventually get it. And so you need to look at failure as this wonderful and great thing that can benefit your life. The third thing is discipline. Here I have a bike with me. This is my visual representation. I have a bike. Biking is something that we've all been doing since we were 3 or whatever. There's a story about the Britain team, the Great Britain cycling team, where they were once viewed as kind of the laughingstock of the cycling world. They were horrible. Honestly, bike companies wouldn't let them use their products because they were scared, because they were afraid that their reputation would be damaged by the Great Britain team using their products. That's how bad they were. They had this coach that eventually came in. They said, we're going to fix 1% of something every single day. And, you look at a bike and there's only so many things that you're like, okay, we can fix 1% of, we can inflate the tires a little bit more. We can make sure that everything's kind of greased down. But he took things to the extreme. He made sure that there was no dust on the bikes. He made sure that all the athletes got a certain amount of sleep. He made sure that the cab that carried their bicycles were painted a certain color, so that way the analysts could look at the bikes and see if there was anything wrong. He made sure that they were using a certain mattress and certain pillow that would help them ensure that they got the right amount of sleep and the correct amount of sleep that they got. Just these insane things that no one ever think of is what made this cycling team now one of the greatest teams in the sport today. The Great Britain team, a couple Olympics ago, they took away more gold medals than any other country in the cycling sport. And so discipline is the most important thing in being successful. You have to be willing to put in the work. If success was easy, everyone would do it. You look at people who are successful, and what they do is, they wake up early. There are people that wake up like 5 a.m. and they say that changed my life, because once you get out of your comfort zone, that's really when you start to grow, and that's when you start to become successful. They read books. Most of us don't like to read books. We like to just scroll on Instagram or whatever. Being successful means that you don't do what natural people do. They eat healthy, they exercise, they do all these certain things that you always find that they have in common. So in conclusion, if you don't take anything else away from this, I just hope you take away that you can do it. You can be successful. You matter. You can make a difference. You can do it. Once you start viewing yourself in certain ways and telling yourself certain things, my mom calls them power statements, that we have to have power statements for ourselves. We have to be able to look ourselves in the mirror every day and telling ourselves, you can do it, because the world will always tell us that you can't. And if you only listen to the world your entire life, you'll end up dying a miserable person. And that is my speech.